Hello and welcome back to the Weekend Spread, the Schooner Pod's weekly college football pick'em podcast. I'm your host, Bobby Howard, and with me today, we've got Jamison Maxwell, Ty Lee, and the captain himself, Boaton Blake. We're recording this one early on a Tuesday, just because it's sort of that time of year where, games start getting a little later, schedules start condensing, the holidays are coming up. So look forward to the Weekend Spread next week on Tuesday as well. Boys, we are in the penultimate week of the college football season, second to last here. Pretty unreal that we've reached the end of the race here, and the playoffs are in full swing. Just got the latest college football playoff rankings, and in case you haven't seen them yet, most notably, as we are an Oklahoma Sooner podcast, the biggest jump, the Oklahoma Sooners jumped to 8, which means Alabama slides down significantly to 10, and OU jumps ahead of Notre Dame. If the playoff were to start today, they would be hosting. So what are we thinking about the first round of college football playoff rankings? OU's win against Alabama. Jamison, you and I did a full pod on that. Y'all should check it out if you're a Sooner fan. But Blake, what are your thoughts on the rankings, OU, anything like that?
No, happy for OU to finally go over Notre Dame. I am probably the biggest Notre Dame supporter on this podcast, hesitantly, but they still don't have a big win yet. Like Pitt, although they blew out Pitt, they haven't really, the only 2 games they played, they've lost both. So they're a playoff caliber team for sure, but definitely need to be towards the end. I always have my BS detector up, though, for potential scenarios of how the college football playoff is going to screw over somebody. I think it's going to be BYU that's going to get screwed over in all this. I hate where Miami is sitting right now. The CFP committee has Miami way too high. They have 2 horrible losses and a horrible ACC this year, and they're not even on the inside track to make their own conference championship game. So if BYU loses to Tech in the Big 12 championship, I easily see them knocking them down, putting Miami in, which is asinine considering how bad this ACC conference is. We should let 1 in maybe, but definitely not 2.
I think the Big 12 is screwed, man. I think you can just give it up. I think
it is. Just give it up, man. They just have put BYU in that precarious situation.
No, it's just you just got to give it up, man. I'm sorry. It's just a one-team conference.
We're better than the ACC. We are better than the ACC.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you're better than the ACC. What does that say? I mean, it's like we're
that's a low bar, man.
But the SEC's down this year. The Big Ten really only has about 2 or 3 legitimate teams. I don't know. I feel like BYU deserves it if they just lose to Tech twice.
They didn't even make that. Like, the Tech game wasn't even competitive, though, in Lubbock.
I know,
it was
but it's hard. It's hard to go on the road at Tech.
Oh,
maybe. So, do you think? Actually, I don't even want to interrupt that.
Yeah, look at Blake said that, and there's a sense of regret that just went over his full body. I could see he felt down in his toes and shook his head. Right,
having to defend Texas Tech. Yeah, that's
like the moment in the movie where the guy on the stand accidentally confesses to the crime. But I don't know. It's the classic Big 12 playoff case, isn't it? Like, do you have? Was it Baylor, TCU don't make the playoffs because there's no championship game, and then the Big 12 institutes a championship game, and then people don't make the playoff because of the championship game. And now if BYU, just puts up double losses against the same team, might very well not make the championship game, like Blake's, or might very well not make the playoff, like Blake's saying, especially when the playoff, as we know, is just extremely biased towards big brands, and the playoff committee doesn't want BYU in there no matter how good they are. If they're looking at the people that don't watch ball, that don't know ball, that are voting on that, they look at brand name Miami, 2 losses, brand name BYU, 2 losses, and it's a no-brainer for them. They throw Miami in that every day of the week. So all hypotheticals, a lot of time left, a lot of ball left to be played before we get into the playoff. But yeah, I see why Blake has got this battered Big 12 syndrome thing going on.
Yeah, and I mean, really, the only chance you have to have two Big 12 teams in is BYU BYU winning the Big 12 championship. That's kind of it. And then hoping Texas Tech finds a way to, survive that loss.
Does a 2-loss Texas Tech get eliminated? That would be
Tech, I think, is in the playoff regardless. Which
sure
is
about
sad.
that?
Yeah,
I don't know.
A 2-loss Tech.
I think
The
so.
only game they lost is, I don't think this matters, but random people on the committee think that not having your starting quarterback matters. They said that factored in for OU.
Wait, who wasn't playing for that game?
No, they just their starting quarterback. I don't think it matters. Like I said, I don't think it matters, but some people on the
Say
committee
his name.
that nope.
Oh Lord. Yeah. I don't know. I think it'll be interesting. It depends on where Vanderbilt ends up. Miami, there are some questions there as to if someone can sneak in. USC perhaps. But I'm intrigued to see how that shakes out with the Big 12. It's intriguing, but ultimately I think BYU had to have had that game in Lubbock be at least competitive, and it just wasn't.
I think the committee puts a 2-loss Vanderbilt in over a 2-loss Texas Tech.
No,
probably.
No,
probably.
No.
Just wait.
Why wouldn't they?
Blake.
God, this Vandy team, they are good, but it's bad. No. Vandy's not a fun brand of football to watch.
What? They've been
Diego Pavia has not lived. No, Diego Pavia has not lived up to what he used to be. He used to be way more fun to watch. Now he is like a game manager galore.
Dude, Vanderbilt's 2 losses would be on the road at Alabama, on the road at Texas. And then they would, if they get 2 losses, they would beat Tennessee at Neyland. I think that puts them in over Texas Tech, boss.
No,
I think that would
because
put them in over Tech.
No, because you can't set the precedent that if you lose in your conference championship game like that, you're just getting knocked out by a conference that is probably already going to have 5 teams in.
It's a win or go home. They got to prove themselves.
But that's the thing is Vandy didn't even get there. They don't even have the chance for a win or go home.
Vandy would have got there if they're in the Big 12.
No,
like you were forgetting that the committee is free to do whatever it pleases.
I know, they just
fundamentally, and you're forgetting the very scary possibility that Texas just smokes the absolute crap out of A&M, and we got a 7-3 Texas team in the playoff.
Yeah, that's
a 0% chance.
Texas dropped way too far.
I think you guys vastly underestimate the level of ball not knowerism on the playoff committee.
I feel like if Texas kept it close against Georgia, then maybe, but they just were not.
And Texas A&M showed some weakness for South Carolina that I don't think that they're this like Goliath that would make this Texas win a huge resume booster.
And they have a pretty watery schedule. If you look at it, all bottom half SEC teams until Texas. And then if you were to lose to Texas, it just wouldn't, that I think would take a massive ding on, A&M's record for sure. But it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. Super exciting. And obviously, if you're an OU fan, just thrilling to be in the mix. But let's dive into this week of college football coming up. So, again, second to last week, week 13. Kind of insane that we're here. Look at the rankings. We got Boat and Blake at 67 and 58 after a 4-7 week last week. Jameson 65 and 59 after a 3-7 week. I got that wrong on the graphic. Then Ty and I tied for third, fourth, whatever. It doesn't matter. Blake, I gotta say, last pod, you made quite a shot with your pot of greed going with the Texas State Bobcats. You didn't hit your wild card, but damn it, you got him. You got Jameson back on the karma pick.
It felt great. I was watching more of that game and paying attention more to that game than that OU Alabama game. I was just bathing in the Texas State success that I jump on the bandwagon for 1 week and we look unstoppable. We could have won the Sun Belt. We could have won the Sun Belt if you would have had me on this train this entire time, Jameson. woof, 3 years wasted, 4
Yeah.
years, however
Can-
long.
Can
you've
we
been on
real
it.
quick? Can we real quick just touch on what the line was and then what the final score was in that game?
The line was 3.5. And was a score of what, 42
The
to
line
10?
was 3.5 for Southern Miss.
Yes.
Yep.
Was it 42 to 10? Was that the final?
I think so. Just absolutely drug them, and it was just from the beginning. I didn't want to jinx it. I wanted to gloat a little bit, but I was like, I don't know what this Texas State team is capable of, so let's wait till the end. But yeah, it just shows you, like, don't turn on the ones you love the most. It's Jameson learned a very sad lesson. He got an L on his record and lost all of his virtues and values and other intangible things that make you a human. So
Other intangible things that make you a human. Damn. I will say,
I think I deserve all of this. I'm taking all of this on the chin.
that's fair. That's fair.
Giving him the Lane Kiffin treatment.
I will say, I think it needs to be studied. Anytime Blake goes opposite one of us on a wild card or a pot of greed, he always hits it. It is the kiss of death if he Uno reverses you. And we need to look at the stats over the years. I don't know if there's definitely no easy way to do it, but Blake has screwed me over on a couple of these. So he's got the magic touch. But
I wait in the brush, just lurking, ready to pounce when one of y'all just throws out just a heinous pick. And I was afraid nobody would do it this year. I've actually, regardless of the records, typically I like the logic that goes into a lot of y'all's picks, but Jameson last week just trying to throw Texas State under the bus, running over with the train and 18-wheeler, everything. It was a horrible display. Just brutal. Some team that you love so much, you cared so much about, and you just cast them off for Byram Bum.
sometimes you just gotta stand on business, man. Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. All right, let's dive into the slate here. A little bit weak, but sometimes that's the best type of college football week. Maybe not this one because most of the SEC is playing cupcakes or on bye. But let's see how it goes. Starting with probably the biggest game. No, definitely the biggest game of the week. It's the USC Trojans, ranked 15th in the country. They are 8-2, 5-5 against spread, heading to Eugene to take on the 7th ranked Oregon Ducks, 9-1, 6-4 against the spread. And look, I know this is a Big Ten game. I don't care. This feels like the Pac-12 title. I'm putting the Pac-12 logo on the graphic. It just feels right. The Oregon Ducks favored by 9.5 points, a whopping number at home. You can find this one 2:30 p.m. Central on CBS. Blake, as you are in the lead, you get to lead us off here. Who do you like?
Yeah, think spread's too high for an Oregon team that has kind of been slumping. I feel like they came out of the gates really hot, thought they were going to be one of those Indiana, one of those Ohio States of the Big Ten where they're just kind of rolling competition, and they've kind of faltered towards the end of this. I think they win. I don't see USC going on the road, upsetting Oregon and Autzen, but if you're giving me 9.5 with this prolific USC offense that just feels like it's itching for a backdoor cover, even if Oregon gets up big, I like my chances with USC. I was impressed for what they did last week versus Iowa. Iowa could be, I think, it's a tough stylistic matchup for a USC team where it's like they want to run the ball, they want to slow the clock down, they want to keep their defense out there. Although they kind of struggled early on, USC was able to not cover it, sadly, but win it pretty handily. So I like what I'm still seeing from this USC offense. So give me the Trojans.
That first half didn't look pretty for USC, and that sticks in my head and does worry me. But at the same time, Oregon, the way that they've looked recently, I don't know, it might just be an Iowa thing, and it might have been that gross game. That's the same thing. It kind of makes me nervous as well. I think what it comes down to it is I think Oregon's still a damn good football team, and I think that Iowa game really is clouding my vision on it. And that was a game at Iowa with really bad weather, and it was just a mucked up game, like I said last week, where I think that really played to a lot of Iowa's strengths and not a lot of Oregon's strengths. I think Oregon at home here, a lot to fight for. USC on the road has been not the most exciting thing this year. I think Oregon can go out and cover this. So I'm going to take Oregon.
Yeah, I feel like the line's too high. I understand USC looked really poor at the start, but the thing about USC this year, they're gritty. They have taken on this weird approach that you really don't see out of USC teams or haven't recently. And I've come away kind of impressed with them. Their ability to fight, keep things close. They out Iowa'd Iowa last time out, which is something that just kind of was shocking. I think Oregon just hasn't impressed against teams with pulses this year. And I think USC keeps it close. I like Oregon to win, but 9.5 feels like a number set by people who might not have been paying attention to Oregon much this season. Maybe have tuned things out after, let's say, Penn State. So West Coast game, I like USC to travel decently well and keep this thing close, but Oregon gets the win.
Yeah, you already know. Go Birds. Give me the Duckies.
You love your Trojans, though.
You do love your USC.
No, I don't. I don't love USC. I love Lincoln Riley and what he can do on offense. And that does worry me, but I have dug myself into this hole with Oregon, and I will. What did you just do, Bobby? Don't make me say what you just did. He kissed a. I'm not going to say what it is, because I don't want to get the podcast pulled from YouTube, but he's on here kissing a male rooster on the podcast for some reason. But go ahead and give me the Ducks. I genuinely don't know what that was.
Don't explain anything. Just let that sizzle. Just let the podcast listeners.
It's North London Derby week, baby.
Oh no, we didn't need context.
No, not that kind of football. No.
Go ahead. No, he needed to add some context, but go ahead and give me the Duckies -9.5 on this one. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. It is a pretty good way to travel, though. I will say it's a longer distance than you'd expect.
That's fair. Moving on to our next game, somewhat of a relic of looking ahead, but honestly, there are no good games out, so we're just rolling with it. It's the Louisville Cardinals, 7-3 overall, 3-7 against the spread. Heading to Dallas, the land of old Bolton Blake, to take on the SMU Mustangs, 7-3, 4-6 against the spread. The Ponies favored by 3.5. You can find this one 11 a.m. Central on ESPN2. Played right in the shadow of Shug's Bagels. Ty, who do you like?
Yeah, does this one have? This is not a joke. This is a genuine question. Does this have ACC championship ramifications? Directly?
Kinda. SMU is not in control of their own destiny. So, yes, they have to keep winning, but they need Virginia or Georgia Tech in front of them to screw up.
That's amazing. So 7-3, a wonderful conference over there in the ACC. I don't know. Give me the Ponies -3.5. I feel like I picked them earlier this season and it went good for me. So give me the Ponies in Gerald Ford Stadium, not named after the president, though.
Yeah, I'm with you. SMU at home's a play here. I feel like Louisville is just dead. I don't know. Last weekend, not very impressed with their performance against Clemson. I know, tight game. Clemson definitely in a, trying to scratch and claw everything they can get to try to get into a bowl game. But Louisville just, with everything to play for, just has looked flat. A trip to Dallas, I don't think it's going to fix that. So give me SMU 3.5.
I think this whole time I was going to pick SMU because I feel like that's been the obvious pick, and the line has been moving towards SMU. There's something inside me that makes me feel like they're just going to completely drop the ball. Louisville is a hot and cold team. You'll watch a game and you'll be like, that team blows. I'm not going to pick them in the future. Then you watch another game, like the first half of the Miami game, and you're like, that team rocks. They just have weapons. And I think that this SMU defense can get hit by some of the weapons that Louisville has. I think you can say a lot about Miller Moss, but whenever you've got Colin Lacey and Chris Bell in the wide receiver room, it's going to be hard to guard. I like their running back stable too. I think that they can make this close enough and give me the points.
Yeah, my pick is already predetermined, but like this shows why the 12-team playoff can kind of just suck, because there is no world which SMU should still be in playoff contention whatsoever. This team stinks. They got absolutely blown out by a TCU team that is just on life support. They got killed, or not killed at home, but they lost to Baylor in overtime, and Baylor looks horrible. Like every team this SMU team played in their out of conference that has looked horrible all year long has just steamrolled this team. This conference is not good. I hate the ACC just because they put out this crappy product week to week, and we have to act like these teams are on the same caliber as the other conferences. They are not. Jameson said it right. Louisville, they can get very hot. They can also get extremely cold. We saw it against Cal. We saw it against Clemson. At least Clemson, I'm like, they have talent on that roster that they're kind of like a Florida last week. They can bite you sometimes. If you mess around, they can bite you. But yeah, these are two evenly matched teams in my eyes. So when you're giving me 3.5, I'm taking it every single time, especially in a place like SMU where the home field advantage really doesn't factor into many points. So give me the Louisville Cardinal.
All right, a split on that ACC matchup. Moving on to, I regret to inform you, another ACC matchup. It's the Pittsburgh Panthers.
These are some of the better games on the slate too.
This one does have real implications for the ACC title game. It's basically Georgia Tech wins this, they're in, and if they lose, they're out.
Yeah,
because it's their last ACC game.
Yep.
Yeah. So Pitt 7-3 overall, and it gets a spread. Heading to Atlanta to take on the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, ranked 16th in the country. They're 9-1, 6-4 against the spread. The Ramblin' Wreck of Georgia Tech favored by 2.5. You can find this one 6:00 Central on ESPN. Blake, who do you like?
Neither. But I have to choose one for the purposes of this show. Talk about just two teams. Pittsburgh just looked miserable versus Notre Dame. Just miserable. Got absolutely stomped at home. And I still like this Pitt quarterback. He's young. He has time to develop. I just don't know what to think about this Georgia Tech team. I think they are superior to this Pitt team, but it seems like every single time they get into these games where there's some stakes, they start fumbling it. And they just get in their own way and shoot themselves in the foot. It felt like it happened last year. Feels like it's going to happen again this year. I'm going to go Georgia Tech, just hoping Brent Key and those guys just lock in for 1 week. It's like, it really doesn't matter what happens against Georgia, sadly. Like, good, it would be good to win that rivalry game, but this is the one game you do have to win. I'm going Georgia Tech. I like the offense a little bit better, a little bit more balanced, but both these defenses, woof, they're nothing to I don't know, celebrate at all. Just two very mediocre teams that are flawed, and just somehow this game has stakes at the end of the year. Is this what we wanted with the 12-team playoff? That this game has stakes? I don't know, but give me the Yellow Jackets.
I have been getting ahead of myself too much on some true freshman quarterback that I like. I see things that I like, and then I think that they're the best thing ever, and then they play some big dogs, and then they get eaten up. That's okay as a true freshman. Like you said, Blake, I detected Mason Heinschel pretty early whenever he went in the Florida State game, and I think he was really good. And that's why I picked him as one of my wild cards. And I think he's got a lot of great weapons. And I think Georgia Tech's defense isn't the most stellar thing yet, but he's still a true freshman going on the road in a high pressure scenario right now. And his tape from last week really didn't show that he showed out in a high pressure situation. I think there's too many variables there whenever you talk about a guy on the other side things, which is the complete polar opposite, a guy that probably Heinschel wants to be. And I think Haynes is going to do a little bit better. Like, Haynes King is a guy that whenever he's put up against the wall, he scraps and he gets there. Catch that reference with the scrap. I'm going to go Georgia Tech 2.5.
Yeah, I feel like their goal of, reaching the ACC championship, having all of that ahead of you, it's so close, and Georgia Tech has played better at home than they have on the road. The past 2 weeks have been just dreadful for them. And to me, I feel like Brent Key is going to have this team locked in to just get one more win. I was not impressed with Pitt last week. I know partially some of that is Pat Narduzzi essentially just giving up on it and punting it. But at home, give me the Yellow Jackets 2.5. I don't love it by any means, but I feel like they're the better team. They're locked in. They'll get it done.
Yeah, I love this one. Easy. Georgia Tech -2.5. Give me the Ramble and Wreck. Pitt, the only thing they have going for them is a really, really cool campus location, but you can't get game day and then get embarrassed like that at home. That's unacceptable. Frankly, it's unprofessional. And, ESPN should not stand for supporting programs like that. So frankly, they should not be on TV at all. But unfortunately, they must be. So give me Georgia Tech -2.5 in this one. Keep their ACC playoff, ACC championship, and playoff dreams alive.
Okay, moving on to our next game. Moving on to our Big 12 games. It's a TCU Horned Frogs, 6-4 overall, 7-3 against the spread, heading to Houston to take on the 23rd ranked Cougars, 8-2, 7-3 against the spread. Houston, a 1.5 point favorite here. You can find this one 3 p.m. Central on Fox. Ty, who do you like here?
I know what I have to do, but at this point, I think it's going to lose me the weekend spread. Give me the Frogs. Give me the Frogs. I'll be on a Frog Island. I'll be on a Blake has established that the worst possible thing that could occur in his life is TCU winning regular season games at this point. So with that same attitude, like he can't go on a multi-minute rant like he's about to in the same podcast where he chastises Jameson for abandoning Texas State. So yeah, I don't like Houston. No one likes Houston. No one should like Houston. We're gonna cut that talking bit off there. Go ahead and give me TCU -1.5.
Oh man. There's a trend I've noticed in the Big 12, and it's that whenever you see a line or something so obvious that you're like, oh, well, obviously this is going to happen, some dumb, just unimaginable stuff happens and everything flips on a dime. And this feels like it could be one of those things, I don't know if it's I don't know if it's a savior coach situation quite yet with Sonny Dykes and TCU and everything, especially in this coaching market. But I mean, the pressure is obviously there. You got TCU fans, showing up to his, radio show at Railhead Barbecue and ready to grill him, just tear him apart. It's not great in Fort Worth, to say the least. And I really, really like Willie Fritz and this Houston team. I'm going to stick with the home team at home team 1.5. A coach I like.
Don't do it, Bobby. Don't do it.
I'm sticking with I'm sticking with Houston. I can't support the Frogs. I think they're dead. They feel that BYU game, that looked like a dead ass team to me. They look done. Houston at least has a little bit of pride. They're moving in the right direction. So give me the Cougs.
I was going to just pick TCU just for the sake of if we all did TCU and Blake didn't, it'd be a hilarious situation. Not going to do that now. I'm going to actually go with my brain and pick Houston.
Yeah, this is I'm putting Ty on this island, and I feel very fine doing it. This team, Bobby said it perfectly. It's against BYU. It's not even you lose. It's just an absolute quit job of a loss, and then you get Sonny Dykes blabbering off at the end of the game, just being so dismissive about fans being pessimistic on this team and seeing that things have been trending down ever since 2022. And then this guy decides to come out today with another statement to try to make things better, saying, "Oh, his 2022 season raised the bar at TCU, and that's why we're so angry, is we haven't met that bar." No, the bar was already there with Gary Patterson. We fired Gary Patterson after a few bad seasons, but he had tons of 10-win seasons in there. Sonny Dykes only has one, and he thinks that he was God's gift to TCU, that he took us to a place that we have never been. No, Gary Patterson had us knocking on the door for the longest time with this program, but Look, I want Houston to kill us. Just please, dear God, just at this point, just make this a disaster. I don't want this to be a middling thing where it's just I have to keep Sonny Dykes around for another year, another 2 years, and I just have to watch mediocre football with the same things happening every single week. I already get that with Jim Dixon basketball. I already get that with the Cowboys. I don't need that happening to my beloved Horned Frogs football, where we're just not even interesting, that there is no hope at the end of the day that we can beat good teams. There's no hope in the world that we can even compete for a Big 12 championship. And the roster is in such shambles right now when it comes to the positions that matter that it just feels like all hope is lost if we continue on with Sonny Dykes. I hope this goes horribly for him. I hope he gets fired this year. I know it's a bad coaching cycle, but honestly, I would rather just take a shot at some random G5 guy, hope it works out better, because at least that inspires hope. This has no hope. This is, I thought, potentially when things were going south this year, is that if we just do a few coordinator moves, it'd be fine. Nope. Sonny Dykes has at every junction has put his foot in his mouth. I don't think he really cares about this program anymore. So Houston's going to kill us. Houston's going to kill us. And then I thank God this is the second to last time we have to talk about TCU football on the show. I get to go see him hopefully lose to Brendan Sorsby and Cincinnati the final week of the year. And then we can lose like the Liberty Bowl or whatever bummy bowl that we're going to get into, New Mexico Bowl, and have a losing record this season. I would love that. I would love that. Just don't stop wasting my time, my money, my patience, just my care in the world. I care about TCU football too much for him to be just playing around with it like this.
You can win another hand-painted pot, Blake. Doesn't that sound nice?
We were in contention at least for the Pop-Tarts Bowl. That's fun. That is fun. And he got us out of Pop-Tarts Bowl contention. Like we can't even do the bummy bowl fun. We can't even do the bummy bowl fun.
And that hurts a lot worse considering that they're going to eat 3 Pop-Tarts this year.
Six. They're having 6 options.
Yeah, there are 6 options, and like half of them are going to get eaten. So like that would have been really cool. So
it's, to me though, it is a little disgusting that number one self-proclaimed hater of corporate slop is the biggest supporter of the biggest corporate slop bowl game that exists right now, the Pop-Tarts Bowl.
I will say it's at least a little bit more entertaining than some of the other ones. Like, at least they're trying. I like that.
Lockheed Martin. Like,
yeah.
Come on. Like, at least they're having fun with it. Like, if they're all corporate slop, but at least be fun corporate slop. At least be delicious.
We'll let you push the button if you win.
Oh God.
It's like it's like if AI is going to exist, at least make the funny AI videos. Don't do just like the deep fakes. Yeah.
Lockheed Martin Bowl.
I had to explain to one of our friends, Ford, this week who John Pork is.
Oh no.
When did that happen?
Well, there's a UFC fighter that they said his name and there's an accent. Everyone thought his name was John Pork instead. so all the people were going crazy for him. And I knew Ford had no idea who the hell John Pork was. So I had to explain to him the lore of John Pork and Tim Cheese. And how John Pork was murdered by Tim Cheese.
Wait until he finds out about Freak Bob.
Oh boy. Let's move on to our next Big 12 game.
Are you picking up the phone call if John Pork is calling you, Bobby?
Of course I am. Of course I am.
Good man.
You got to. Our next Big 12 game. It's the 11th ranked BYU Cougars, 9-1, 7-3 against the spread. Heading to Nippert Stadium to take on the Cincinnati Bearcats, 7-3, 6-4 against the spread. BYU, a 2.5-point favorite. You can find this one 7 p.m. Central on Fox Sports 1. Blake, who do you like here?
This line, I know it's cross country, but Cincinnati is just, I don't know what I'm going to get from them week to week. It seems like you get a different team every single time they go on the field. And like last week, 5-point favorites lose outright to Arizona. they cannot be trusted. I don't care if they're at home. I don't care if Brendan Sorsby has a good game. Like, I think this BYU team is actually well-rounded. Like, I feel like they get the diss of a lot of these teams that, okay, they might have played a lighter schedule and they beat up on these little guys. But when I watch BYU, it's like I'm impressed with their defense. They have legitimate weapons on offense that I'm like, these are big-time receivers. There's a lot to love, just everything around BYU. I'm going to go with the Cougars. I think they win this. I think they're making the Big 12 championship. So give me the Cougs.
Yeah, I think BYU wins it as well. I think just the vibes around Cincinnati off. Obviously, got some big injuries. Evan Parr still being out. I mean, Tolly Walker had a good game, but I think the jig is up with Cincinnati now. Evan Pryor.
No, what name did you say after that?
Tolly Walker.
If he were any good, certainly DeMarco Murray would have got performance out of him.
You'd think.
But got a lot of performances out of him and just never played him.
Yeah. And I mean, if I was Tolly, I'd understand why I'd want to leave too.
Well, of course. I don't blame Tolly Walker.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that was not an anti-Tolly Walker.
I very well know it is not. I'm just giving Tolly his flowers in this conversation. It's BYU here. I've been soiled on Cincinnati now. The whole Arizona thing, I thought that was a team that wasn't much to begin with last week, and then I got shown out. So screw Cincinnati. You're on the hit list now.
Yeah, Cincy to me, they were teetering on that edge between like, oh, they're kind of a Big 12 contender. They're either kind of a Big 12 contender or like a spicy, fun Big 12 team, but not actually that good. And I feel like BYU handles the teams that are spicy but not that good, like decently well. But if you run up against like a Texas Tech, that's where you run into trouble, because that's a team that can compete overall in college football against some of the best teams in the country. Cincinnati is not that. They let me down massively against Arizona, just to echo what y'all said. And this feels like a game that BYU is going to win. 2.5 feels like an attainable line. Could be. I think it's going to be a dogfight early, but BYU finds a way, pulls away, gets the 2.5 point cover.
Yeah, really, there needs to be. We're going to have to conduct this season and then into the off season, so that we can use these advanced analytics for next year and next season. But there needs to be like a data-driven empirical study on BYU's performance and how it's impacted by if a mid-football season, a season of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives is released on Hulu, because that has just occurred. And those are the two biggest things that occur in the state of Utah.
Have you been watching?
I have not, but I've been overhearing it randomly as I move about the living room.
My wife is watching it right now in the other room for sure.
Okay.
So.
We might need to phone in an expert here and see. But yeah, give me the Cougs -2.5 in this one. Does not worry me one bit. I already faded them once in the pod because Cincinnati and Houston are fundamentally the same thing. I'll fade them again.
Yeah, and then the nip at night factor is interesting. The late night, winter time, the first snow has already hit. Cincinnati has already done their traditional annual artwork on the field after the first snow. So it does feel like a scary situation to some degree, but I feel like, I agree. I think BYU.
I did forget about the wild card factor of their mascot throwing snowballs only at police officers until they're arrested, which it has done before and may do again.
Let's move on to our next game. We're moving on to our SEC slate. And apparently our slate on the right has reverted back to the old days. We've got the Kentucky Wildcats 5-5 overall and against the spread. Head to Nashville to take on the 14th ranked Vanderbilt Commodores 8-2 overall and against the spread. Vandy, a 9.5 point favorite. You can find this one 2:30 p.m. Central on ESPN. Ty, who do you like?
I don't like either, but I do like the Stoops family. We got Mark Stoops coaching at Kentucky, I think, still, maybe. Okay. I knew that info was correct as of like 6-7 years ago, so I just wanted to check if that was still current, because that's the last time I paid attention to Kentucky football. On Vanderbilt, what I like in Nashville, that's cool. That's the big city to these Kentucky people, I'm assuming. Do I like that I'm going to pick Vandy minus 9.5 here, and my fate will be in the hands of someone named Diego Poverty? No, I don't like that. But go ahead and give me Vandy minus 9.5. And if I lose, it's all know why, because I hitched my wagon through the the Cumberland Gap is around there, and as I'm headed out west, and I've hitched my wagon to someone named Diego Poverty, and we're gonna see if I make it to the Oregon Trail or not.
As soon as Ty started talking about liking Stoops in Kentucky, I started vigorously typing in our private chat. And I quote, I like Stoops in Kentucky.
Oh yeah,
so
I just clicked over there.
And Vandy.
Yep,
yeah.
He called it. He called it.
I knew it was
Jameson is Ty's scriptwriter. He's on it.
I can honestly, if you gave me the slate every single week, I can guarantee you I would pick Ty's picks maybe 80 to 90% successfully.
Yeah,
like
because
exactly how he does the Corso cadence.
It's
every
9.
time.
Yeah, but it's also just 90% the favorites.
You can't not so fast everybody.
Anyone could pick my picks because I just ride with the favorites minus like when I have like an extreme hatred for someone like Houston.
You picked TCU as a dog this week so far.
I like TCU though.
Yeah, 1.5 points. Really went out on a
yeah,
limb
but
there.
we all know that line should be a lot more than 1.5. I don't know why it's 1.5. There's got to be an injury on Houston or something that we're not seeing. But
no, for this game. So I think there is a resurgence in Kentucky to some degree. Obviously, people have been hyping them up a bit because they murdered Florida just out of nowhere. Like I think Mark Stoops started to realize his shtick was running clean, and he needed a little bit of a boost to protect his job a little bit. And they're on a little bit of a hot streak, and I think there are some people who might look at this line and be like, "Oh, Kentucky could keep this close," but I am not one of those people. I think that Vanderbilt is a better team. They still have everything ahead of them. A massive matchup with Tennessee awaits at Neyland. It's Diego Pavia's senior night too, so he's finally, going off into the real world as a.
Is he? Is he?
I feel like
I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
Oh God! Surely not, right? Like surely not.
Bobby meant senior night, as in they're recognizing people over 50 at the game.
Oh,
so they're going to shout out Diego Pavia.
Yeah, no. Diego Pavia would walk into Robert's Western World and would be like, "Oh, I remember when this one came out."
Dude, whenever
the real Nashville people know that one.
Live up that senior discount. I'm going to use the crap out of it.
Yeah,
God.
I forgot we had world's cheapest man.
Jameson is never eating after 4 p.m. when he's
what
that
it
old.
Is, it's he pretends to be frugal because he's financed so many TVs that he has to be. He's just assembling an army. He's assembling a terracotta warrior army of TVs in his garage.
Yeah. Jameson is counting down the days before he becomes a regular at Grandy's. But no, I like Vanderbilt and Diego Pavia to win by 9.5. I could see it being dodgy early, but I'm not really overly concerned here. And I really want them to do this. I want to set up a massive game in Neyland next week for, I don't want to say for a playoff spot because Vandy needs a lot to happen to make that a possibility, but to keep their hopes alive. Yeah. I want to see that. I want to see Diego Pavia trying to fight the entirety of Neyland Stadium. So, yeah, Vanderbilt 9.5.
He'll throw for 125 yards on like 15 completions, a few rushing yards, and Vandy wins or loses like 14-10.
You used to be
what the
Diego
hell?
Pavia guy when he was New Mexico State.
It's because he's so.
Who was the first person to find Diego Pavia? Put their hand up. On the podcast, put their hand up. Not Blake.
I don't know. It happened like 5 years ago.
5 years ago, I know.
We were still writing these out, probably.
We still had a physical blog.
We were still blogging these. These were not happening over hour and a half podcast.
The Scooter blog days, not the Scooter pod.
Oh, God.
I think that this line is cooked in with Kentucky being better as of recently, but are they they've always been a scrappy, weird team, and they beat up on Florida, and Texas is such a weird team that they're going to Texas sometime. And so I'm not really buying in too much of that. I think there's a little bit cooked in that this might be a look-ahead game. I'm not buying that, and Bobby already said it. It's senior night, and whatever we say about Vanderbilt and Diego, that's a lot, but I know that Diego deep down knows that this game is has a lot of symbolic nature to it, and I think this is a guy who goes out there and he works. I don't think he's a guy who's going to look ahead. I believe in his ability to come out and punch Kentucky in the face and be ready for next week in Tennessee. So I think Vandy covers.
See, like, I thought Diego Pavia worked, but I feel like this year he's been more on the press circuit. He's been flashing the money and the chains. Like, he's distracted as all get out. He's not a gym rat like he once was. And we've seen it in his performance. It's been all right. It's just been very average. Like, he's been a very good game managing quarterback this year with like a little bit of legs, but I still really, that's the frustrating part, is this Vanderbilt team is not being led really by him. It's everybody else, that defense, everybody else on the offense. Like, it's a team effort that for some reason he's getting all the credit this year. Like, he's Johnny Manziel circa, when was that? 2011, 2012, when he was actually putting Texas A&M on his shoulders. Like, the fact that Johnny Manziel is even associating himself with this man is diabolical. I'm gonna take Kentucky. I am worried. The one worry I have is my theory that Mark Stoops started to play better whenever ESPN channels were not on YouTube TV, so nobody was watching him, and then he silently just became good. Now ESPN, that carriage dispute has been resolved. Worries me a little bit, this game being televised. That kind of scares me, eyes of the world, but they're scrappy enough. I don't get Kentucky because the numbers don't check out. Their offense is horrific. Their defense really is middling. Like, they've been better as of late, but middling. But they somehow are able to keep it close with Texas, able to keep it close with Ole Miss, beat a Florida team that's still decently talented. I'm going to take Kentucky.
All right. Kentucky. Wow. All right. Let's see how that goes. Moving on to our next SEC game. It's the Arkansas Razorbacks, 2-8. Disappointing season for them. 4-6 against the spread. Heading to Austin to take on the Texas Longhorns, ranked 17th in the country. A disappointing 7-3 for the preseason number 1 in the AP. 3-7 against the spread, and it shows. Texas, an 8.5-point favorite here at home. You can find this one 2:30 p.m. Central on ABC. Who do you like, Blake?
This is just classic Texas get right spot. The defense is too good. Arkansas's defense is so bad that even though Texas hasn't been able to find that consistent rhythm on that side of the ball, they'll be able to carve up this Arkansas defense. I thought maybe the Bobby Petrino move would kind of juice them a little bit, that they would be winning some of these games, and they've kept it close for sure. They've done good at that, but I don't know. I just feel like they're running out of steam. There's only so many close losses a team can take. I think Texas just dominates them with their defense, and if Arch Manning is pretty average, they win this game comfortably. So I'm taking Texas.
Yeah, this is the best pick of the week. It's Texas. They're going to kick their ass. It's just Texas is going to try to fool people into thinking that they're still a playoff candidate. Like Bobby, we said it at the beginning of the podcast, they shouldn't be put in, but they're going to try to do their best impression to fool people. So give me Texas here. Big.
Yeah, I mean, Arkansas hasn't beaten an FBS team this year. Their 2 wins are Alabama A&M and Arkansas State. And they've had a lot of close wins. FBS. Arkansas State's FBS. They haven't beaten a Power 5 team. Not even a good group of 5 team, for that matter.
They could still make a bowl, Bobby. What's
that?
Arkansas State can still make a bowl.
I apologize to champions of life, Arkansas State, but no, I just think the Razorbacks, to me, they're spiraling. I know they keep things close, and I'll say this: I think they tease us on this one. I think there's going to be a period of time where you're watching this and you're thinking, "Oh my God, Arkansas, they're keeping it close. They might cover." Texas is going to cover this one. I don't think it's going to be an absolute ass kicking like I think both of y'all think it is, but I think it's going to be a decisive Texas victory, comfortable enough. So let's say like 14 points, something like that, 10 points. But I think the Longhorns cover 8.5 for sure. It is a rivalry game. If this was Fayetteville, I might even go ahead and say Arkansas covers, but no.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Blake and Jameson's explanations a little bit more, but I like Bobby's ultimate conclusion a little bit better. I'm taking Texas minus 8.5 in this one. They're just such a better team. I just don't see the massive incentive to like blow them out here. It doesn't make sense if you're Texas. Arkansas is still scrappy a little bit. Like you got to remember there's still a lot of talent on both of these teams no matter what. So I like Texas 8.5, but Vegas, I think, agrees as well. There's a reason that this line is at 8.5 when I think you can look at this and say, oh, it should be. That does worry me a little bit more now that I think about it, because I feel like if you go look at the balance of the bets, I know there's a specific term for that, but I'm sure most people are on Texas on this one. So that's a little worrisome. But
keep in mind, this line has been bet down from 9.5. So the line is moving in
the whales are slamming.
That's probably just, we're not going to say that that's blatant market manipulation, but I think a lot of people maybe would think that. Yeah. If they weren't concerned about accusing large corporations of market manipulation on a podcast.
I would also like to say Texas was an absolute mess last week. They were not good.
They have looked stinky in a series of games against teams that should be far inferior. So,
and look, it has not been a particularly good year for me on the weekend spread. My record reflects that. I was all over that damn Texas game though against Georgia. They are absolutely owned by Kirby Smart, Texas, yeah. in that program. Yeah,
you were on an island for Mississippi State as well, I believe.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Anyways, let's move on to another SEC game. It's the 20th ranked Tennessee Vols. They are 7-3 overall, 4-6 against the spread. Heading to the swamp against the Florida Gators, 3-7 overall, 4-6 against the spread. Tennessee, a 4.5 point road favorite. You find this one 6:30 p.m. Central on ABC. Ty, who do you like in the swamp?
Not only is this a preposterously stinky game, 6:30 on ABC for a 3-7 team. My goodness, what a stank slate of college football we have this week. But if you're a true sicko, you love it. I like Tennessee. It's Florida at night, right? There's a little bit to worry about there, but Florida has not looked good. They have not looked good this season. They are really focused on like everything else outside of the locker room right now, I feel like. And it's not the team's fault necessarily. Like they can't help that Lane Kiffin is playing games with Florida and Ole Miss and LSU right now. I feel like there's just everything I hear about Florida, none of it is about anything the team can do. And if you're Tennessee, you still got a little bit of life in you. Like your playoff hopes are done, but you still got a little bit of life in you. And this is a game that both teams care about. So go ahead and give me Tennessee, much better offense. Josh Heupel takes the win in the swamp at night. Hopefully they got some good weather down there, a little warmer for these Tennessee fellas coming down from the north. So give me the Vols minus 4.5.
College football is an interesting sport because there are some things that exist outside of the X's and O's, outside of conventional knowledge that just make no sense. And this feels like a game that exists in a different plane altogether. Tennessee has not beaten Florida at the Swamp since Ron Zook was the head coach of the Gators. That was the guy immediately after Steve Spurrier, I might add. So circa early 2000s. Tennessee, I feel like, is a way better team. If you played this neutral, if you played this Neyland, it would be a blowout, no question. Tennessee minus 4.5. But the defense feels porous enough, and Florida feels like just dynamic enough with Lagway and some other offensive weapons. where I have half a mind to think that Florida's going to win this game in the Swamp, and I'm going to go Florida to cover with the points. I know it makes no sense. Sometimes you just got to go with the weird ass voodoo magic that's going on in Florida. So give me the Gators.
I'm mad. I wanted to be on a Florida island. I really wanted to be on a Florida island. I wanted to give Blake a look. Look at his face right now.
I don't know.
You got lucky one week, but you can't just keep pushing that button like it's gonna save you every single time.
I know. And so the appeal
That's
of
why
being on...
it's a high. It's a high. Like, it's the definition. Whenever I win my one Florida game a year, I keep picking them. That's why I'm trying to be smart this year.
Yep, the appeal of picking Florida is not nearly as sexy now that Bobby's on the boat there.
Well, Jameson, let me just tell you real quick, just for argument's sake, if Blake and I both go Tennessee, then your Florida island will be connected to someone else at only 1 point, making it a Florida peninsula.
The most Florida thing possible, really.
Is that supposed to convince me? I don't know where I should take that information.
Florida is a peninsula. I'm not sure if that.
Do you want me to pick Tennessee or Florida?
I don't know. I don't care what you pick. I just thought that was a funny talking point that I came up with. Because Florida is a peninsula, and then it's like Florida Peninsula, and it's haha.
I got you. I guess as a man that will care about geography, I will let Bobby be on his island. I think Tennessee covers this because I like Blake said, I watched that game and I was like, good for Florida. They're keeping it close. But you just kept watching. You're like, if they just had a little bit more time in that game, I think Ole Miss blows them out. I'm like, I don't know how Florida keeps doing it, but they're there. And like this, you talk about Florida's offense, like in DJ Lagway, he's lost so many of his weapons in the passing game. He's lost so many of them. And it's kind of turning into a travesty. I think they still got a lot of good guys, and like they got a very deep wide receiver room, but losing some of their best guys in like Trey Wilson and Dallas, like I think that Tennessee, even if Joey Aguilar continues to throw 2 interceptions like the game against New Mexico State, which is absolutely embarrassing, I still think that they have enough to get themselves over the spread. So give me Tennessee.
Yeah, but I can't chase it just because it happened to Jameson last week. It means it ain't happening this week. I'm not putting myself on that side. Good luck to Bobby. It's a thrilling experience. You'll either get the best euphoria of your life or it'll be the biggest disappointment. But good mojo, I think, around Tennessee in a week of SEC cops kind of making the news, with the A&M one just spouting off on the South Carolina players and getting removed. I've been made aware of the Tennessee cop.
Say his name.
No, Cassius Thunder, the logo on Bobby's shirt. The most impeccable jawline I've ever seen. I feel like this is good mojo around the Tennessee program. So I'm going to go with the Vols. He's probably not. No, he's not going to be there because they wouldn't travel on the road. But
no, he is, because he's Josh Heupel's personal.
Oh yeah, the state troopers travel. Yeah.
Oh yes,
not
good.
all of them, but the one that is the coach's security always travels.
Yeah, the guy always travels. So
Never turns his
Cassius
body cam
Thundercock
on.
might be there.
I don't know if you guys know this. I don't know how deeply you guys know this meme lore, but this is not like meme lore. This is actually true. Prior to becoming a Tennessee highway patrolman, he was fired from Blackwater, the mercenary company Blackwater.
I know
who was
so
forced to step
little
down.
about Cassius Thundercock.
Yeah, I'm unaware of any of this story.
Now
I
you
just read
know.
about this
Now
today.
you know. So when Ford asks you in 5 years, who is this? You can explain
Why he's like escorting out some UFC fighter.
I will say Chonko the fighter, that everyone's calling John Pork, does seem kind of fun. But I don't think Chonko
sound like John Pork.
Whenever you have a very like thick like Russian accent and you say Chonko or you say John Pork.
Sure.
Sounding slightly Russian.
Look, I will say I might be on an island here with the Gators, but I'm not really on an island because all of the Tennessee fans also think they're
dooming
Florida's
right
gonna
now.
They always do
Because
that.
they're
always
doomed.
do
The
that.
Vols fans just do. They're hedgers.
Yes, it's because their
Hedgehogs.
season doesn't mean anything anymore, so everyone's just going into a spiral. If we would
That's
have
not
lost
true though. That's not true though.
Hey, Bobby, if Oklahoma fans, it's the same thing. If the Oklahoma fans, we would have lost one of these past games, we would have been dooming, and we would be spiraling, talking about our team.
You're not stuck on Vols Twitter like I am because they will never leave my algorithm. Some of them think they could make the playoffs still.
No,
at
God.
9-3. I'm just saying some of them still are holding out for the playoffs.
This is the problem with this format. There is too much hope going around. I need my own format when people are crushed by this point.
I agree. It should be the second you lose a regular season game, you're just you're done.
Yes,
two losses.
That.
I hate that. I hate that though.
Because now we have these mid teams saying they have a case.
The problem is
the way more fun when you still have stuff to play for.
No. Here's the problem.
Bobby,
the playoffs expanded to a point where now every administration thinks that their coach should do it. So I feel like it's created this like perverse incentive for like the 8-4, like 7-5-ish teams where they don't care. And previously they did because they still kind of cared about their bowl game. And coaches could still point to like, oh, I was 8-4. Or 9-3 or something, but nowadays that just gets you fired no matter where you are because every admin has seen Indiana go from the worst program in the history of college football to still not that good, but has really easy schedules and NIL bags people.
I also do not care about the 8-4 and 7-5 teams. Let them do whatever whatever makes them happy. Go for it. That's not our standard at OU. Like,
Okay, yeah, you have one good season, and it's
different world, one good season. We're back on track, Blake. We're back on track. And I think it's fun. I just think it's fun to be like in the mix still. Like,
but see, the thing is, the games that we're saying that are mattering. One of them being on the slate being Louisville SMU. That is sad. It
doesn't even matter. It doesn't really matter. It's only on the slate because it had a close line and I didn't want to find anything else because the Big 12 is a mess. The SEC is playing cupcakes. I put on every one.
We literally can't even get lines for SEC.
Yeah, like every non-cupcake I could. The Big 12 is a disaster. Y'all just let these, American teams walk in and just run over the conference immediately and then give the keys to Texas Tech.
I guess we can't get FCS lines this early. I was gonna say, aren't there like FCS championship games this week?
I would have loved to put Montana State on here. Brawl of the Wilds.
Great analysis to say about that.
That's why I didn't do it, but it would have been fun to just have it there.
Wait, that was on the cards? That was on the cards, and we put.
I don't think there's lines out for that.
I couldn't find a line for it, Blake.
Yeah,
that's
the problem. It's FCS, and we're recording on Tuesday.
Yeah, I just couldn't find it. So some of those markets open late, but I don't know. Regardless, I think it's perfectly fine to still have more teams in the mix. I think it's interesting. I think that's fun. So
bring back the
mid teams thinking they're the same as like Ohio State right now is making me a little angry, Bobby. This is making me mad. These teams,
I don't think anyone thinks that they're as good as Ohio State, but like. That's the thing with the format. Nobody looks at the NFL format as like, oh, all of these bad wild card teams think they're the same as the number one seed. They don't, but they're at the table still. I
feel like the moment you compare yourself to the NFL playoff format, that's not
team
good.
In the NFL. The difference between the best
the Western Conference
and the worst team in the NFL is closer than the difference between the 1 and 2 best teams in the Big Ten.
Like the NBA's Western Conference, be like, oh, the Grizzlies think they're on the same level as the Thunder. They're not. You have to let things play out. You can't. I think it's way more interesting to at least just have these conversations, see who gets in, then just arbitrarily decide 2 teams, and the rest could just play exhibition games for, I don't know, just to go on vacation. To make themselves slightly feel better with a dumb little trophy that doesn't mean anything. Like I would much rather have a proper playoff.
You're gonna make Bobby's gonna turn his body cam off in a second, Blake. If
Oh,
you
no.
keep...
God.
What? Jesus. All right,
Bobby's
let's
like,
move
we're
on.
having these good discussions, and it's like, oh, we're talking about 2-loss Miami or 1-loss Georgia Tech or all these. It's just these are bad teams.
I mean, otherwise we would have no conversations about them. We would only be talking
That's
about
fine.
like 4
I'm
teams.
fine. We don't need to just have conversations for the sake of conversations. I am fine not talking
But
about.
we have multiple conversations about the sport. That's good for the sport.
I don't
Because
care.
otherwise, what
I
are you
want
doing?
interesting
What's the
conversations
point?
about the sport. I don't care just that a conversation is happening. That is not
Oh my
That
God.
is not
This
my.
is
We have a podcast.
This
The
is
whole
guy
point
on
is
podcast.
conversations.
Guy
We
on
talk about
podcast
games,
doesn't
Bobby.
believe
We
in
don't talk about
conversations.
hypotheticals.
Oh my God!
Oh my
please,
God.
just please. This
Moving
is
on to the next
ridiculous.
game. This is a dumb conversation.
And also, I just looked up immediately, found a line for Montana State, like the easiest thing. I went on to my little
Then wild card it. Then
line
wild
tracking
card
app,
it.
and there's
wild card them.
no. That was
Why
so
not?
easy.
I'm sorry, Blake. I cobbled
Just
together a
because it's
podcast
not on
today early.
ESPN Bet that's going defunct in like 5 days doesn't mean there's no lines out there. I know Bobby is only looking at ESPN Bet.
You realize I send the slate days early, Blake, and that is my opportunity I'm giving to you three to critique the slate and see if there's anything you want on the slate and just talk about it.
Oh my God! I don't care.
Wow.
Let's just move on.
I'm sorry. We're moving on from the infighting to the game. I think excellent game. It's a 22nd ranked Missouri Tigers. What?
Okay, you're just rage baiting
Game?
at this point.
I think this will be an excellent game.
This is insane.
I think it's gonna be fun. I mean, compared to the rest of the slate, Blake, there's only
Excellent.
2 ranked matchups on the whole damn thing.
Oh my God! But that doesn't make it an excellent game. You could just say all the games are bad this week. God, go ahead.
It's good enough. It is a good enough game. Also that's kind of my thing. I always try to overhype this OU game. Anyways, it's 22nd ranked Missouri Tigers, 7-3, 5-5 against the spread, heading to Norman for the first time since 2011 to take on the 8th ranked Oklahoma Sooners, 8-2, 5-5. OU favored by 7.5. You can find this one 11 a.m. Central on ABC. For the Sooners, you win 2 games, you're in the playoff, you're hosting. The stakes are as high as possible, and you're facing an old Big 8 foe. Back in the day, they played for a peace pipe. This is a massive, massive game in Norman. Blake, who do you like here?
Dr. Jaime, who's starting for Mizzou this week?
It's gonna be Prebula. I think Zollers is gone.
Zoller's bad. Oh my God. I don't know who to choose in this game. I feel like this line's a little rich for an OU team that is relying a lot on their defense. Granted, that defense turned up, played fantastic in Bama, but we're talking about a defense that was relying on a lot of turnovers and stuff like that to start generating some points. It makes me worried that this hook with 7.5. I don't think Mizzou is outstanding by any means, but I think that defense is pretty feisty. And I think behind Bo Pabula, they can do some things. I don't think much. But if you're talking about an OU team that it seems like are more willing to play games closer in the low 20s, mid 20s, it kind of scares me with the 7.5 hook. I think OU wins it. I don't see a world where Mizzou wins this at all. But 7.5 makes me worried when you're relying on, it feels like these results are relying a lot on how the defense is performing when it comes to turnovers and stuff like that, which is something that you can't game plan for. You have to take it when it comes, but you just can't game plan up. I'm going to take Mizzou plus the 7.5. I hate this pick. I want OU to make the playoffs because when I look at them, OU actually excites me as a team that it's like, okay, they have the 2 losses, but this defense is old school and it is mean and bad and fun, and it makes it interesting in a sport that is really, it seems like, dominated by good offenses. So I'm going to go Mizzou, but OU, I think, wins this one easy.
So, I think the conventional wisdom would be, yes, Oklahoma's turnovers can't keep happening. Their defense has been doing amazing, but the offense is less than stellar. Why are they going to cover by more than a touchdown? They're going to win. They're going to continue to win close games. But I think really what it comes down to is now that teams are having to press against Oklahoma, they're getting put into opportunities to make mistakes, and that's why we're seeing turnovers. I think in that Alabama game against a team that does not turn over the ball a lot, there were a couple more plays that could have even been more turnovers. I think there are 6 possible turnover opportunities in that Oklahoma game. And then whenever you put that with the Tennessee game, you start to see a trend here. I think Oklahoma is going to put a lot of teams in really uncomfortable situations and make prone people like have games where they do poorly. Bo Prabula coming off an injury where he dislocated his ankle, but didn't actually break anything, which is exceedingly rare. All of his ligaments in his ankle are going to be stretched out or torn, and he's going to be playing off of that. And this is a guy who is extremely mobile and relies on his mobility to be a successful quarterback. I think coming off that injury, I don't think he's going to be completely 100% in terms of his mobility. And 2, whenever you have your ankle pointing a different direction and you're coming back quickly, there's a huge mental thing of like, does he feel as confident to go out there and cut and make big time plays against one of the best defenses in America? That's a really damn hard, it's on the road too, a damn hard thing to do coming off of an ankle dislocation. I think there could be a scenario where we just put him in a coffin, makes one-dimensional, and we've seen Oklahoma and their run defense that I give a lot of flowers to Ahmad Hardy, but if you give Oklahoma an opportunity just to sell out on the run and really just not believe in the quarterback, we did it versus Auburn. I think that there could be a situation where Missouri has a really low scoring game when we cover this spread. So give me Oklahoma 7.5.
Well, and note too that when they did against Auburn, Jackson Arnold, for all of his flaws, is mobile. A Bo Prabula or even Zollers, specifically Prabula, fresh off of an ankle injury of that severity, is not going to be able to move around at all. That's not his game in the first place. I'm with you. I think Hardy's an absolute beast, and I think this is a proper strength on strength matchup, but you have to tend to side with Venables' defense over the, just incredible rushing game that Missouri has. I feel like whenever you have those situations, it's easier to bottle up a guy than it is for him to, go off. Now, he is an exceptional player. I think he's probably going to have the best performance we see out of a running back against OU's defense. I believe the stat is he's had like over 1,000 rushing yards after contact, like just purely after contact, which is insane. But to me, I feel like OU's strengths really mitigate, cancel out Missouri's best aspects. If we're giving gambling advice here, buy the extra point. 6.5 feels like a really, really nice number. I don't think I would bet 7.5. But I also don't think I'd take Missouri at 7.5 on the road in a must-have situation for OU. Jameson, what were you saying earlier?
I was going to ask. It seems like you've shifted your conversation because you were big on 9.5 Missouri whenever we talked last.
Yeah, I've just thought about it more, I think. And I think to me, I don't know. I maybe I'm just a little bit confident on how good that defense has looked. Maybe it's just feeling the vibes. I don't know. I just feel like OU at home in a moment like this, I don't see them. I think it's a tough call is what I'm saying, because I could see this thing being close, being a rock fight. I just feel like OU has enough to get over the hump and cover 7.5. I've been debating on it for a good while, but I'm trending OU 7.5 here, and that's what I'm going to go pick. I don't know. Missouri hasn't beaten OU since the 60s, I believe, in Norman, so we'll see how that pans out. But yeah, I like OU to cover 7.5, but just like barely. It's a really well set line.
No, it's not. Give me OU minus 21.5 in this one. The OU has maybe the worst offense that has ever been fielded on Owen Field by the University of Oklahoma. Our offense is atrocious, and multiple
pick
players.
A damn side.
Multiple players. My side is Oklahoma, which is why I am seeking out. I'm the compliance department, and I've detected fraud from within. We have time theft. They're probably taking staplers and stuff too. I don't know what sort of materials they have. I'm sure we gave them chargers with their iPads. I bet they're pocketing their chargers for the team-owned iPads. This really needs to be investigated because the blatant fraud that is being perpetrated by some of these guys that have transferred into OU with the promise of being good and they're not is disgusting. But with that being said, the defense is so good, and this is Missouri. There's a little 22 next to Missouri's logo. That's what the line should be in favor of OU. If you think that Missouri has a chance in this one, take Mizzou plus 22 because they have a chance of covering that one. This one is going to be beautiful as an OU fan. Why we're wearing the gray jerseys for a noon kickoff against a team who is going to be wearing at least a black helmet, unless they've changed some uniform stuff that I haven't seen. I hate that. I hate that as a color matchup. I wish we would have worn the grays against someone where it would have been a full contrast across the board. But I'm excited. I like our uniform combo. Obviously, this has been one of the alternates, I think the only alternate in recent times that I've been a fan of. Everything is going for OU here. The vibes are high. The team is now coming back home after a massive, massive win. You got like a little homecoming experience going on here. I think there's going to be a ton of people in town. Noon, maybe actually good kickoff for the time of year because you can stay warm. Kind of unfortunate for tailgating as we get late into the season, but vibes are so high for OU here. And really, you know what? The more I think about it, this is good. It's good that it's a noon game because then the beautiful, beautiful town that is Norman, Oklahoma will not be cursed by hordes of Missouri fans for more than is necessary. If it was an evening game, then they would just be lingering about the town all day, making it unpleasant to be there. So go ahead and give me OU minus 7.5.
That's very clippable.
Yeah, of course it's clippable, and Missouri loves to clip. Oh my god. Oh,
no.
Now I will say.
No.
This is not the team. I think if you're OU, this is not the team you want to lose to, especially knocking you out of the playoff because
LSU would be way worse.
Those drink goofball clips afterwards are going to sting like hell.
No, and I will say that, oh god, that'd be awful. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Yeah, this really is you gotta have it because of that. Because they're already making really lame attempts to try to dunk on OU, and it's just really not working. Essentially be like, oh, it's not the past anymore. Missouri's better. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense when we just beat Alabama and Tennessee back-to-back weeks on the road. You can't make these dumbass, oh, nobody cares about your history jokes when you're not that great and OU is doing excellent. So it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. You don't have the past. You don't have the present. Sorry.
I don't know. I would. They're going a little too far. I'll say that. They're going just a little too far.
Who's going too far?
They beat y'all last year, though. They beat y'all last year. That's the problem.
In one of the biggest messes I've ever seen. Like that they beat Jackson. Jackson Arnold handed them that one.
Literally.
You gotta eat your humble crow a little bit.
You gotta kill him. We can't have Mizzou getting any confidence. Like this is kind of just a plea from America that OU has to win this weekend.
Let's see the last time Missouri won back-to-back, shall we? And I know I'm just playing into their. I know I'm playing into their stereotype.
Yeah, this is just.
Yeah, that's not great. It's
did
1966.
Did we play them multiple times? Okay.
Yeah,
I think we played them multiple times a few seasons, but
because if we're talking about old school OU, we would not be flaunting a 2-loss team.
I mean, yeah, but we're
Also
okay.
true. Yes.
Yeah, it's
I'm
like
just saying.
if we're talking. I know
Okay.
the standards have changed. The standards have changed because of the expanded
Across
Okay,
playoff.
well, there's also a lot more.
Across
The OU I grew up was everybody was on suicidal watch when they lost one game.
It's because
like
they played
K-State
in
on the road
poverty
by,
Big
like, one.
12.
It's called
So-
Yeah.
standard. No, it's called
Yeah.
standard.
Yeah, and also the OU you watched back then. For the record, when we lost to Ole Miss, we were freaking out. Anyways,
Yeah, y'all should have won that game. Ole Miss played so bad.
yeah, OU could easily be a one-loss team. They pissed away the Ole Miss game.
I still don't even get the Texas loss. Or I kind of do. Mateer was bad.
We got some Auburn fans hanging out in the chat. Hey guys, good to see y'all. I don't know why you're popping
Got a
in.
DJ Lagaway, John Mateer argument.
What is this, August?
The mid-off, yes.
Oh man, shout out to Auburn fans. Y'all are troopers. Not only for one, like, randomly watching kind of an OU based SEC podcast, college football, just caring about college football in general with the year y'all are having. Y'all are real ones. That's awesome. Shout out to y'all. Guys,
they got the Iron Bowl at home against an Alabama team that needs to win.
Do it. Please do it.
It would be hilarious.
They've done it before.
They have. This is like the perfect Auburn wins the Iron Bowl spot too, isn't it? Like it just, God, that's gonna be fun to talk about. But we have one more pick of the week, and it is our favorite pick of the week.
Why aren't the brakes working? Because I cut the brakes! Wild card, bitches! Yeah! What? Brakes, guys! I can't stop this fast!
It's time for our wild card picks, where we make our favorite pick from outside of the main slate. Just taking a little gander at the standings. Nobody was good last week except for Blake, who won his pot of greed. Only one pot of greed remains, and it's Jameson who has to use his either this week or next. Ty, as we kind of go in sort of a snake format here, who do you like?
I had some games that I liked, and then I said, no, I've been doing terribly. I need to mix it up. I need to change it up, and I need to do what other people are doing outside of Jameson the last couple weeks. So at first, you all knew I was going for my beloved Forks against Colorado. But then I said, no, I can't do that. I'm also a lifelong fan of Colorado since at least 2018. And I've been a lifelong fan of ASU since at least 2020-ish. And I just couldn't do that. So I said, what would Jameson pick? I just said, I'm going to try to snipe Jameson's pick here. And it's a little heavy. So I don't know if he would pick this one, but this is a team that he would pick. And I think I'll get an approving nod from him, even if it's not his pick, because it's a little heavy for his taste in picks, especially this late into the season. But I'm going to be taking an 18.5-point favorite. And that is, of course, the North Texas Mean Greenies going down to Houston to face 5-5 Rice. UNT is getting some playoff chatter. And I think that fuels a team like UNT, especially that they have a loss on their record, and especially as that team that they lost to continues to slide with the loss to my beloved midshipman last week. I think UNT has the motivation and has the incentive to go out and flex that wonderful offense that they have and keep the gas on the entire time. Because if you're that group of 5 team, you have to do it. You cannot play that excuse as the G5 team, even though, you potentially have the auto bid path. We'll see how things pan out. But as that G5 team that's gunning for the playoff, you can't do the thing that the big teams do where they play a team like Rice and they win by 2 touchdowns and they start coasting at half and then they get the benefit of the doubt. You have to keep on the gas. You have to run up the score. That's my justification for taking an 18.5-point line. UNT has an amazing offense, and Rice has not looked tremendous. So go ahead and give me the Mean Green in-state matchup. North Texas minus 18.5.
Okay. Look, I've had few bits of success on the wild card this year. It has not been good, as you can clearly tell from what you're seeing on your screen. But what I have had success in has been in matters involving Ohio State. So they have a 31.5 point line against Rutgers at home. It's the week before the game. I think they air it out a bit and just destroy the Scarlet Knights. So give me Ohio State minus 31.5. Maybe a bit of a big line.
Trappy.
I don't know. Maybe a trap. I don't know.
I don't think it's come out and blow them out. I think they take their foot off the gas.
Well, okay. Well, you know what? I haven't officially said anything yet.
What?
So we want to talk about a trap. We want to talk about a trap.
Wait, are you changing your pick just because Blake said trappy?
It's called a filibuster, Jameson. I'm talking. I wanted to see what his reaction was, so I'm going to go with a real trap.
No.
We're going to go with the Maryland Terrapins plus 13.5 at home. Lock it in.
Oh my
Michigan
God.
has been.
Maryland hasn't
This
been
is a losing. You have your wild card pick, and I say one word, and immediately you jump off.
I really wanted to do this one, honestly. So
Okay.
I felt pretty good about it. I like Maryland to cover 13.5 at home. Michigan is probably already running Ohio State install. They looked awful against Northwestern last week. Barely squeaked out, just barely. And then like they've looked bad against Purdue. They do not look good recently. I think they're just saving up. They're charging their little Wolverine laser for the game, and I think they do not cover here. They win by like 10, but they don't cover on the road in College Park, Maryland. That's my play on that.
Okay, I flew with Maryland.
Maryland does not look inspired under Locksley.
Maryland at the beginning of the season was kind of a little spicy, and then something's happened, and it's not it, because I thought they had it. But okay, I'm hoping the best for you, Bobby. Mine, I'm really sad that my record is starting to kind of fizzle out. I'm still proud of what I've done to be 10-2 in my wild card picks this year, and we got a couple more left to go, but I'm still very proud of what I've done. I feel like this one fits more of Ty's narrative than anything. He tried to play a Jameson play here, but really what he's looking into is he's thinking like what teams has something really to fight for. Maybe
are you taking Sam Houston?
No, hell no. Hell no.
We got a 3 combined wins matchup.
I'm looking for a team who's looking for style points, who wants to get their name out there a little bit more with the common folk, and which a team that I think with the way South Florida's lost last week probably needs to be talked to a little bit more, and that's James Madison, the Dukes. They're at home in Harrisonburg, and they're playing Washington State, and they're 13.5 point favorites. Washington State has had some games where I thought maybe they can be feisty, like they kept it close with Virginia, but let it be known that 2 games later after that, they lost to Oregon State. I'm going to repeat that one for everybody. They lost to Oregon State. I think that James Madison could absolutely lay it on. They want to go out there and make an absolute show for them to where they can start to be talked about as the team that's going to be the 12th team in the playoffs. And I think they do it this game. So give me James Madison 13.5 with the little Sluka quarterback running package that I know Blake loves so much from the Dukes.
God, that man, God, he deserves nothing but the worst. But and James Madison probably, I feel bad for them a little bit, but they deserve to be in playoff conversations a lot more, especially more than Tulane or some of the American Conference after they've played their ways out of this position. It is a narrow loss to Louisville by James Madison. They should be in that spot, but
they deserve that game. I'm going to stop you right there, Bobby. Hit the button, please.
Oh yeah.
Uh-oh. Hold on. I was not prepared.
You never saw this coming. I summoned Pot of Greed.
All right, James gets an extra wild card with the Pot of Greed here for those who don't know.
I love that you weren't prepared for that, Bobby, when he literally only had 2 chances to use it. He had to go this week or next.
Yeah,
so,
I don't know.
I think last week what happened to me, I got embarrassed. Straight up, put it on the chin. And I went ahead and tried to beat a Texas State team while they're down, and then Blake showed me up, and I really deserved everything that I got, crapped on this podcast so far. But I think I see blood in the water, and I see a war starting. and I want battle. Blake, step up right now. San Diego State playing in the late slot sit as an 11.5-point favorite versus San Jose State. San Jose State is really, 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 really bad this year. This is a team that, if you do not recall, I'm pretty sure that the only time they looked good is whenever they beat New Mexico to screw over Bobby and his wild card pick. Well, other than that, I have not been really too much amused by them. They lost to Nevada 55-10 last game. This Nevada team lost by 30 plus to San Diego State before. Really, really, really bad. I think San Diego State has got a good defense at home. I think that they can contain it, win by 2 touchdowns here. Give me the Aztecs, baby. San Diego State 11.5.
I'm a hunter. I don't get hunted like this. I'm not taking your little bait, Jameson, just because you try to throw in San Diego City on the slate. I'm not that easy. We'll be talking about them probably later in the year. I know when to pounce, but I'm actually taking Ty's
He's scared.
bait.
He's scared.
No, I'm not scared. I just know when to. I'm not going to get baited randomly into fights. Just like I don't do these bits with my picks. I only pick from the heart. I'm taking Ty's bait though. Give me Sam Houston State +7. I've seen some inspired ball, hottest team in the country, 2-win streak. Holy crap! They beat Delaware outright. Outright as double-digit dogs.
Don't do this, Blake. You're drinking too much Kool-Aid here.
No. This game should be a pick'em. Like in my mind, these are 2 similarly situated teams, and you were giving me 7 points. This is as locky as lock can get. We got world's hottest team against a Middle Tennessee State team that's won 1 game. I saw enough last week with my Delaware pick. This Sam Houston State team has figured it out. It's a shame. I think they could have been the G5 representative if they just would have figured it out maybe like 7 games sooner, but they are going to cover the 7.
Sam Houston State? Or am I mixing?
Picking Sam Houston State plus 7. Going to Middle Tennessee.
See?
Good lord.
What game is this on? What channel is it on? Let's see. Any guesses? Oh,
I'm being attacked in the chat because they don't have the context that I was forced to pick OU a bunch of times because you guys were leaving.
One time.
This is your wild card record.
One time. We're looking at wild card records.
I'm talking specifically about the wild card.
You get to choose every single week.
Yeah. Well, and then I got that one Air Force game wrong, and then was forced to pick them for the next literal 6 weeks. And
y'all got like the really like the end of the show. Y'all got the like little crumbs at the back. You didn't even get like the extra like. No, y'all got nothing. The random niche games we go with, that's not the best ones.
I don't want to have to explain the lore about how they saw I was doing too good at the wild card, and they started putting my teams like USC on the main slate, knowing that I'm not going to watch any other games.
I will always pick a bit to fit his.
I am a ball not knower, though. I pick off vibes, and that's why I won last season. You guys watched every game. I watched just OU games, and I won because you just ride with the vibes.
He's had good years. This is not a good year for him, but it's not an awful year.
I've won this 60,
like 60 and 65 overall. Like
that's not
losing money if you're betting that, but yeah. You're not losing a ton. And again, if this is your first time out here, we got a lot of people popping off in the chat. Go back and rewatch this. We have the actual big games on the slate, USC, Oregon.
Actual big games. And Blake's over there laughing how to turn off his mic.
Left when you said
I don't know why. Yeah, but no, we usually talk about the bigger schools, not Georgia Southern, of course. But look, if y'all like this show, tune in next week because we got, rivalry week. It's going to be a banger. Like the slate we got set up for y'all. Like, make sure to tune in 8:30 Central. We got Georgia Tech, A&M, Texas, Ohio State, Michigan, Alabama, Auburn. Got the Iron Bowl going on there. Vanderbilt, Tennessee, OU, LSU should be fun. Like we got all the good ones. We got all the good ones. No thanks, big man.
I
No
wish
thanks.
I wish all of y'all were here earlier in the podcast when Bobby was. Can you show them what's on your shirt?
No. We don't need. We don't need to talk about the Tottenham.
Bobby was kissing a. We're not going to say what it is because
it's a long story. It's fine. We don't need to talk about that. We don't need to talk about that. You got to be live for those moments. The people do want to talk about the Iron Bowl. We ain't gonna give it to you yet because go let that wait. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to subscribe to that one.
Ride with Auburn in that one.
Yeah,
we'll talk about it more. But Kalen DeBoer is the worst coach in the SEC.
It feels like a game that Auburn.
Now that they've fired all the people below him, he is the worst coach in the SEC.
Oh Lord, this chat is.
I think
we need to shut her down.
Cut the head off right now.
Oh Lord, God, guys, Jesus.
They know about the Bobby allegation.
Good Lord. Yeah, no, this isn't good. This is not good at all. But
thank goodness you.
All right, thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to tune in next Tuesday for our picks. We'll be back to recap the Missouri game on Sunday, and do a little LSU preview, all that good stuff. But for me, Jameson, Ty, and Bowden Blake, this has been the Weekend Spread. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you all next time, everyone. Good luck out there.